Of the Star Wars franchise, which storyline did you enjoy most?
Definitely the original trilogy, because that's when I grew up and first was exposed to Star Wars, but I love the prequels. I love, anything Star Wars gets me, but I'm an original trilogy kid.
Which storyline did you enjoy most?
Saying that writing is becoming a lost art form is stretching it a bit, but watching a show like Obi-Wan Kenobi confirms that the process of becoming a paid writer has certainly changed for the worse over the years. Any idiot can now be a writer. What once would have been considered a loose storyboard or rough outline for a show is now the finished script. Huge shortcuts are taken just to get to the next mundane, stupid scene. Shortcuts that are produced by sheer laziness or utter stupidity. Not long ago, we were getting annoyed if a trip in Game of Thrones seemed a little too quick, or the crossing of paths didn't quite add up.
Well, Danny kind of forgot about the Iron Fleet.
But that now is starting to look like the golden era of storytelling compared to the utter laziness displayed in the shit show that is Obi-Wan.
You'll help me?
Yeah.
Major points of the story are just skipped over, and somehow the Disney fellatio-giving fans just can't get enough of it. They praise this crap. And I'm not talking about doubling the length of the series to flesh out every boring detail. I mean just including basic story structure, like setups and payoffs. And writers, try and understand the basics of your own stories, you fucking idiots, and relax. Let's quickly thank today's sponsor, Adam & Eve.
You're a lousy lay.
Don't be a victim of being bad at sex. Head on over to Adam & Eve to find a gift for your partner to make sure they are satisfied. Or better still, buy something to satisfy yourself. Use the code ROBOT for 50% off your first item, and you'll also get free shipping in the US and Canada.
Some exclusions apply.
Be a bedroom hero. Obi-Wan arrives in the city his tracker has led him to, a city that is basically a still from Blade Runner. You would think in the 40 years since Blade Runner came out, we could have something besides neon lights to indicate grimy sci-fi city. But as we know, modern Lucasfilm isn't really known for their creative originality. This supposed very busy city looks strangely empty, and all its residents are very evenly spaced out, like in a stage show. But to be fair, this show looks way better than most of the crap we saw in Boba Fett. This at least looks like a real show, and the people seem to be based in some sort of reality. Unlike this fucking scene from Boba Fett, where we had the bestiality couple. I bet seeing them have sex is a wild experience. Haha, I see. Red Letter Media's Rich Evans has finally sold out. Bastard, I've been trying to sell out for years. And they must be cloning him because he magically goes from here to here between shots. Yes, Obi-Wan arrives in the city, and within 30 seconds, he meets a random kid who takes him to a guy who can tell Obi-Wan not only the location of the building where Leia's been hidden, but by the looks of it, even the room location. Well, we think he gives him that info. You see, the writers don't like to share little things to us like plot details. We have to guess how he knows which building to go to and where the rooms are located.
I seem to have lost my way.
Yeah, well, get back to work.
Obi-Wan lands on this strange planet and is led straight to Leia through the magic of instant luck. Not even a scene of him talking to multiple people in the street to find the right person that may lead him to Leia. Now we can't have that. We can't have a proactive hero. The Lucasfilm writing staff like to make all our old heroes passive losers, which pretty much sums up the Lucas writers. Should I ask them if they know anything? They're a little scary. Maybe I should ask them. No, if only a child would approach me with information. Close. Perfect. Now, I understand that sometimes stories need the odd coincidence to happen to keep within the confines of a limited storytelling format. Shit, coincidences happen all the time in real life. But this show doesn't cut the odd corner by making sure our characters have a bit of luck on their side. Full-on miracles are needed to make this plot come together.
Go to Transport 8.
What are you talking about?
It'll take you to Mapuzo. They'll be waiting.
Who'll be waiting?
And remember my favourite part, this show was repeatedly delayed because they weren't happy with the scripts. This mongoloid piece of junk show is apparently the improved version. What was the original script like? Just feces smeared on a piece of paper?
You sound like my parents.
Obi-Wan was written by Joby Harold, whose other writing credit is Army of the Dead. Who the fuck watches Army of the Dead and decides that guy, who wrote that pile of mind-hurting bullshit, should ever write anything ever again? And who the fuck calls a kid Joby? I wouldn't let Joby write the expiration dates on food at the supermarket. Yarr. The amazing part is anyone, except maybe the simpletons that gobble this crap up, could come up with an interesting scenario that would explain Obi-Wan finding Leia so quickly. Part of the reason, and wouldn't it be great to have a reason that made some sort of sense, part of the reason why Leia's stepdaddy wanted Obi-Wan to go after Leia could have been that he knew Obi-Wan had contacts on the planet she was taken to.
Please, Obi-Wan, I know you have contacts there.
That could have also been part of the explanation of why Leia was taken to that planet, because that little detail is never explained either.
Obi-Wan, old friend, I thought I'd never see you again.
Thanks for meeting with me, my old friend Max Big Flaps. Do you have any leads?
Yes, I'm sending you to a people smuggler that might know something. He also calls himself a Jedi.
And why the fuck would he do that?
Fucked if I know. He used to call himself the local rapist, but that didn't draw enough attention.
You would think with the main plot idea, that of being to capture Obi-Wan, they would think about keeping Leia in maybe a more open area, say a large warehouse where they could monitor Obi-Wan approaching, or maybe even some sort of facility they had control over, like where the Inquisitors are staying. But instead, they decide to go to a random planet keeper at the back of a shop guarded by Bill and Ted. I mean, he's only a trained Jedi and the most wanted man in the universe, and apparently capturing Obi-Wan is Riva's main obsession.
We will find you!
But when he arrives, she's not even ready for him, except for the stupid fake-out dummy she made that served no purpose. Or if you want to stick to the Lucasfilm idea of making Obi-Wan a complete idiot who arrives with no plan at all, you could have the people pointing Obi-Wan in the right direction working for Riva. She could be setting all this up to lead him to her trap.
You'll help me?
Yeah,
Can I trust you?
definitely.
But no, fuck those ideas. Everything that happens in finding Leia is just a coincidence.
There's a Jedi. He helps people.
Obi-Wan meets the pretend Jedi. A people smuggler calling himself a Jedi in this world is the equivalent of a real-life people smuggler advertising themselves as a terrorist suicide bomber. It's upping their criminality by about 1,000%. If they stop your truck at the border and it's full of illegal immigrants, you may go away for a couple of years. Actually, if you haven't crossed the border yet, you may just go home. If your truck is full of fake explosives, well, the cops ain't going to know they're fake and they're just going to blow your head off anyway. People smugglers don't need some stupid angle to get paid for people smuggling. You pay them and they smuggle you out. The pretending to be a Jedi is some bizarre little play that serves no purpose. He even puts on a little magic show to trick the desperate mother and son, whose only goal is to get out and most likely could do without the theatrics. So what would happen if his little amateur magic show failed mid-performance? Well, absolutely nothing. She's there to get smuggled out of town, not see the next David Copperfield wannabe.
Well, I was going to let you help me, but your magic's bullshit.
Yeah, I know. With your son's abilities, they will come for him.
But he mentions the kid has powers. Maybe they only trust him.
Bullshit! I don't think his business would last long if it was just set up to help the Force-sensitive people. I don't think that's a very good angle. Or are they trying to say there are so many Force people around that he can concentrate on that segment of the smuggling market? Fuck off.
Yeah, definitely.
All the smuggling dude has done is put a massive target on his back that ends in execution. He's even walking around dressed as a Jedi with a big swinging fake lightsaber hanging off the front of him. Maybe that's really his huge swinging dick, as the guy seems to have gigantic balls, openly walking around as a Jedi, who have all been sentenced to death.
Extinguish him. Consider it done.
Oh, that sounds so ominous. But like several scenes in this show, there's just no payoff for what he just said. His consider it done means he's going to go marching down the middle of the street like it's the end of Pride Month and then stand at the entrance of the spaceport just in case Obi-Wan comes in. Not exactly getting the job done, is he? But apparently the whole Inquisitors hunting and killing Jedi thing isn't that serious, because our fake dick swinging Jedi here later tries to stall Riva by again declaring himself a Jedi. He does this to a crazed Jedi murdering assassin. And as he must have somehow known, she doesn't kill him. I mean, she will cut off a woman's hand for just speaking out of turn, and also considered killing Owen because she didn't like the cut of his jib. But if you stall her from catching her most hated prey and lie about being a Jedi, she's pretty cool with it. Our fake Jedi here isn't even scared. It's as if he's in a completely different story. And that's because these idiot writers don't have any idea how to keep a consistent tone from one scene to the next, which is a basic failure of writing and makes the show a complete mess. Because are we meant to be scared of Riva or not? And while we're on this guy, why do we even have smugglers on this planet? We just saw Obi-Wan land and he wasn't checked for any type of ID. And going by the spaceport, people seem to be able to just come and go at will.
I don't have time for this. Just be gone, okay? You're in Daiyu now. All signals in or out are blocked. People like their secrets out here.
Who's he smuggling out? Is there really that many Force-sensitive people around now? Anakin was the chosen one, but it took Qui-Gon Jinn to spot him because he wasn't walking around doing magic. Now, thanks to The Last Jedi, every Force-sensitive kid must be like Broom Boy, just casually being able to use the Force whenever they want. I do like how the creators of this show have the Inquisitors' mind-reading capabilities just come and go to suit individual scenes. Usually that's something only a bunch of hacks would do.
You know what? I'm not gonna answer it.
I don't need you to.
Tell me where the Jedi is!
Where is he?
I don't need you to.
So yes, the fake Jedi sends Obi-Wan directly to the building holding Leia. After some sad Cobra Kai fighting that seems very un-Jedi-like, he somehow knows to head straight to the room that's a trap. Why two thugs stop him, or how he knows where the room is, or why he has to enter the room before they can grab him is never explained. Man, that cheap-ass chain jacket is giving me some Boba Fett mods vibes. But anyway, he escapes the trap with a bat smoke bomb. And then heads directly to the room where Leia is. Again, we're not given one line of dialogue for how he knows which room to go to. But I'm sure that the spit-dribbling Disney fans think this written for morons script is wonderful. Now remember, this whole plan is to flush out Obi-Wan. Leia is just an innocent bystander being used for bait. She's only being used because of who her stepfather is. Now, Riva somehow decided to target Leia's stepfather, even though she would have no knowledge of Obi-Wan's and Bail Organa's relationship. Again, and I mentioned this last time, the dumbass Lucasfilm writers keep giving the characters motivations and knowledge that they would only have if they had watched the movies.
I use the girl as bait.
Leia's dad was more of a colleague of Padme's. Even Anakin doesn't know that Bail Organa and Obi-Wan have a special bond. That's sort of the point of choosing them to take the children. Joby, you idiot! Were Obi-Wan, Anakin and Bail Organa ever in the same room together?
Oh no, I'm not brave enough for politics.
I'm sure the comments will let me know. The only way you would think there was any special bond between Obi-Wan and Bail Organa is if you know about this scene and the twins, which would mean the whole original trilogy is blown out of the water and catching Obi-Wan would not be a priority for Vader.
Sister, Obi-Wan was wise to hide her from me.
Somehow, that's never explained, Riva by chance picked out of the thousands of people involved with the Clone Wars and the Fall of the Jedi, picked out that what should be to her a random politician and guessed that he was somehow close to Obi-Wan. Even though this random politician and Obi-Wan spent little time together and all their personal interactions happened after Order 66, so there would be no records in the archives regarding any of that.
I found a link between him and Organa in the archives.
I use the girl as bait.
You'd think you'd need more than just a link to lock in this plan, but boy did Riva really luck out. She somehow picked the sole person in the universe that was still in contact with Obi-Wan, a Jedi that no one even knows if he's still alive. What are the chances of that? Fuck, there's some convenience for you. Her plan was to take the child of a senator that had no obvious connection to Obi-Wan, but worked in his vicinity like 10 years earlier, fly the child to another planet, lock her in a room at the back of a shop, hope Obi-Wan was still alive, hope that the senator and Obi-Wan not only knew each other, but had a special bond, hope that the senator was still in contact with Obi-Wan, hope that the senator had tracked the kidnapper's ship, hope that Obi-Wan would agree to come out of hiding to find his child, hope that the senator didn't do the smart thing and just sent his personal army.
Where's the army?
Or better still, contact the Empire about his missing daughter.
Don't worry, the situation is under control.
Hope that Obi-Wan would get to the hostage planet in one piece. Hope that Obi-Wan would luck out and find his way to the random building, past the drug den and local heavies, and end up in the precise room that for some fucking bizarre reason had a fake Leia tied up. Why the dummy Leia? Getting him to the planet wasn't enough. Getting him to the building wasn't enough. Getting him to the room wasn't enough. He also had to fall for the fake Leia. I mean, if he'd seen her through a window, or when he touched her, the door shut behind him, or maybe set off an alarm, I'd understand. But no, the dummy Leia served no purpose. And amazingly, this 1 in a fucking billion chance of coming together plan to capture Obi-Wan almost worked. Years of planning and so many magical pieces needing to come together. And Riva was so close. She must be devastated. If only she'd been there waiting to capture her main obsession. I'm sure she had a very good reason for not being there, but we'll never know because that's not important.
The Republic will be reorganized into the first Galactic Empire!
And yes, I did say that Leia's stepdad could have contacted the Empire. With his public position as a senator in the fucking Imperial Senate, he would most likely have contact with them every day. He could have had this resolved in about 5 minutes. There are stormtroopers out in the street right outside the building. They could have had her back home that day. And don't give me the bullshit that it would draw too much attention.
What about the Senate?
We cannot let this become public. It would draw too much attention.
She's not hidden away from the world working in his kitchen undercover as one of his staff. The galaxy and everyone around him knows it's his daughter. What would draw some attention to the situation is if she was picked up by stormtroopers and it was discovered she went missing from her home planet and no one said anything. Now that would set off some alarm bells. Or worse still, found on another planet dead next to the most wanted man in the universe.
It's so fucking stupid, Joby.
It's as if these writers who wouldn't have got a job on The Muppet Show can't even follow their own stupid story.
But what is this strange world we've come to?
Beats me, 3PO.
They just can't comprehend that at this time in Leia's life, Leia isn't at war with the Empire. Now, Joby, I know when you got the job writing for Star Wars that you went and looked up clips on YouTube to know what the story was about, and you only saw clips of Leia running and fighting the Empire, but that time in her life hasn't started yet, you dumb fuck. The only reason Leia is getting chased, shot, and nearly killed is because Obi-Wan takes her with him. If Obi-Wan had half a brain, as soon as he realised they were all onto him, he would have known it was way too dangerous to take Leia with him. He should have handed her to the stormtroopers, who would have been seen as heroes returning a missing Imperial Senator's daughter. And Riva wouldn't have even stopped them because she would be in deep shit if it came out that on her own she went and kidnapped a senator's daughter. And the dumbass writers rammed this home with this scene.
You would kidnap an Imperial Senator's child?
We've done worse.
You have no right.
The Grand Inquisitor is now smarter than our loved Jedi Obi-Wan. He understands that Leia's family works with the Empire, and it would be very important to protect her, which means Leia would actually be safer with the Grand Inquisitor than she is with Obi-Wan. Bravo! Bravo! You idiots. But because Obi-Wan is now an idiot, he decides not to get our balls of steel fake Jedi to hand Leia over to the safety of the Empire. Instead, Obi-Wan decides to put her through this. Oh dear.
Stop, Leia! 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 Leia, go! Leia! No! No! Leia, no!
Hold on! Hold on tight! Oh! No!
A manhunt that has nothing to do with Leia. Obi-Wan's actions make Leia a criminal and a new target for Riva. What an absolute hero.
Where is he?
And again, I must remind you, what we are witnessing is the rewritten, improved story and script, the one personally approved by Kathleen Kennedy, a person that hasn't written anything in her life and has somehow reverse engineered the once biggest IP of all time down to a poorly rated TV show. Fuck, I wish I had the work safety of Hollywood. We also get, luckily, a personal favourite of mine, the chasing of Leia, where no one can reach out and just grab her.
Leia!
No!
Leia, wait!
Stop!
And not being happy to just copy John Wick.
I want every lowlife and bounty hunter on this planet to know Kenobi is here.
We also get Matrix Riva. And Warriors Riva.
Warriors!
Obi-Wan.
Come out today.
But I wish we could just get interesting, well-acted Riva. The amazing part about Riva's badass circus routine is when she just disappears. I have never seen an action scene where one of the main cast just gets forgotten about during the scene. Riva's like 5 buildings away when she starts. Then she moves at incredible speed. Yet, she never catches up to them. Even while they stop and Leia's hanging off the building and falls. We even then get another 10 minutes of dialogue. And go back to Riva and she's still going at full pace. What the fuck is going on? Where's she been running? We even get the fake Jedi up there for one shot. Yet through the whole chase, we never see any of these characters in the same shot together. I think we're seeing the result of some heavy re-editing or reshooting of this show, because this couldn't have been planned out. Oh, that's a shame. I did like him, but no one comes back from having a lightsaber run through them. I mean, you know, Kylo did, but he had Super Rey with him. And it's not like Disney has made death completely meaningless in Star Wars. That would just take away all the stakes and be idiotic.
You can't run, Obi-Wan!
Oh yes, more shouting. That ain't going to get old quick.
You can't escape him! We will find you! We will destroy you!
I do hope that pilotless cargo ship comes with oxygen and a heater for the journey through the cold vacuum of space. Would have been a nice touch to have some livestock on that ship. You know, just add some interest and check off the old, that's how they know and we know they're going to survive the trip. Could have also added some light relief after the near death of Leia. Maybe a light-hearted scene with Obi-Wan and the animals. But I'm guessing me wanting a more rounded, thought-out fun story is just nitpicking. I should be just happy with the shouting and dumbass action, because that seems to be all the Disney toadies need.
I don't have time for this.
It is an interesting decision from the writers to have a show about a smart, powerful Jedi rescuing a princess, but they have him arrive with no plan or ideas on how to find her, or even the foresight to plan their escape off the planet once he's rescued her. If Obi-Wan had met the fake Jedi within minutes of landing, he would have been absolutely screwed. Fake Jedi here is our real hero. He found Leia, stalled Riva, and organise their escape off the planet. Imagine if it turns out the fake Jedi here is the one to get Leia home safely. Imagine what a kick in the legend of Obi-Wan's balls that would be.
Haja, you remembered my name.
It's hard to imagine a story that stupid, so make sure to join me next time for the continuing story of Alzheimer's Obi-Wan, and we'll find out if he can finally get Leia killed.